And look, the most fearless people in the world have a lot of fear, but they have a better way of understanding how to manage it and overcome it. To be honest, there's no way a person can step into life and not be afraid of something. It's a human instinctual thing. You have to look at something and go, well, that might kill me, so I probably shouldn't go over there, right? We have fear of situations. It's just a matter of some people click in to a spot where they go almost in immediacy. I'm not afraid of that. I have courage. I'll step into that. Like somebody might be afraid to step on a stage and talk and speak. Doesn't mean I don't get afraid to do it, right? So I may go, I'm gonna get on that stage and someone be completely afraid. They might go, I'm never doing it. My wife, for example, I'm not getting on stage. I'm afraid of that. I go, yeah, I'm a little bit afraid, but in my past and my history, my courage has shown I can overcome this. I'm gonna go do it. And the more you do it, the less fearful you are of it. So that thing that might scare somebody else don't scare you anymore. But the idea is you got to step into it. And a lot of us, we don't live lives with that mentality. We don't understand that there's a lot of pressure we'll face in life, and the pressure is the pathway to success. It is. Without having some kind of pressure, why do you think you'll win? Why do you think you'll get success if you don't experience a pressure that somebody else couldn't overcome? Because honestly, this whole statement of if success was easy, everyone would have it. It's true. It's because on the path of success, we have some moment that creates pressure and tension and fear and difficulty we don't step into. So when you're under pressure, these moments have got to be something you look into. So today I'm going to break down really 5 steps what I can look at for you to be fearless in pressure-filled situations. How to approach the moments with mastery so you can actually experience more amazing highs in life and do more cool things so you don't miss out on stuff simply because you're afraid of it. If that is the case, then you're going to miss out on life. Now, to be honest, this is something a client of mine faced in 2019, the pandemic, which turned into an extra $100,000 for their business. It was this thing where I was able to show them, hey, there's a scary thing you could do, but if you do this thing, you're going to win. And they did, and they won. And the reality is when you can step in and do this thing that doesn't feel comfortable and there's a high pressure behind it, you feel like a monster, like you feel amazing. So there's nothing you won't go and take on because you're now in this rare air of success. And it happened because you approached the pressure-filled situation you knew was a pathway to success, and you created something cool. You won. That's what we want to do. How do we succeed? So the way I look at it is the world is a scary place. This world we live in, man, is a scary place. You can get canceled. You can get made fun of. You could have judgments. You could be put down, brought up to be put down. A whole lot of things that could take place. And I know that these things, they happen daily. And even when we do this, we have a fear of failing. And when you have a fear of failing, you don't take the next step. But the truth is, all of us who have already succeeded did this. We had something we feared and stepped into it. And I mean succeeded at anything. I don't care if it was succeeding at making your first cake for a birthday. It's a little bit of fear, but if you can't manage yourself in the face of fear, well, you'll get to the point where you have to turn and you have to turn away from goals and you can't do the things that you want to do. And so what happens, you'll have missed opportunities and you'll know it. So you'll have regret that trickles into your soul and it'll shut you down. So how do you face moments that are high pressure situations where here's the first step. Here's the first one that's important. One is you gotta take a deep breath and you have to focus on the present moment. Right now, what's in front of you. This honestly, a couple things it does. In the moments of high pressure, high tension situations that arose without you even expecting it, is in these, our body goes haywire. A lot of chemicals are shooting into the brain, and then we have these moments where in the present situation, I freak out. I get scared. And what I do is I try to find ways to avoid the fear. My body goes into a fight or flight, and I'm amplified. And what you need to do is breathe in. In these moments, the best thing you can do is not to freak out, but to breathe and be present. And it happens by breathing and calming your mind, your body, and your spirit so you can think more clearly. There's always that statement that goes, well, I don't know if it's a statement per se, but when emotion is high, intelligence is low. When my emotion is way up here and I'm heightened in a situation, I'm not thinking clearly. That's why we do things in anger we'd love to have back, because we say things, do things, operate in ways that we go, I wish I hadn't said that, good or bad. I was feeling great, so I said this, I love you. Oh, and not that it's a bad thing to tell someone you love them, but could be a different situation where it doesn't fit properly. So the thing you got to think about specifically is in these moments, like trigger yourself in these moments to go, all right, it's heightened. I feel the tension. I'm a little bit scared. Let me take a deep breath. This deep breath calms. There's something you can do called box breathing. Actually, in fact, military do this all the time. I believe Navy SEALs were taught this, is you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, breathe in for 4 seconds, and you keep on doing this process. And it actually triggers your nervous system in a way that allows you to calm everything back down. Blood pressure goes down and your brain's not actively going like crazy. You can focus. In those high tension situations, you want to be able to make choices that are based on logic in your brain, not some that's based on a heightened emotion of fear that actually becomes detrimental in the future to where you don't have these moments you'd love to have back, right? Calm yourself and breathe. Number 2 is remind yourself that fear is normal. It is normal and it's natural, and it may be somewhere you go, oh, I don't want to be afraid of something. If you don't admit to being afraid of something, that's problematic, because if you don't approach something going, I'm admitting this, you will not give yourself permission to improve in the area. So everyone experiences it. Everyone has to take place, and it actually allows you to put fear into perspective, so it makes it more manageable. If you'll actually give yourself the ownership of going, all right, I'm afraid of this. Great, what do I do now? It's that simple. See, you know people in your life who won't own up to things. They won't admit situations. They won't say they need help with something. So what they find themselves doing is stepping into situations and they're not even owning they need help in a situation. So they botch it. They mess it up. They screw the pooch. And they could have avoided that whole situation of problems if they just said, you know what? I need some help here. And they don't, because there's got to be this big bravado. I'm not afraid of nothing. Yeah, we are. Telling me if all of a sudden a dragon came out of the sky, you're not gonna be a little afraid of a dragon. It's not supposed to exist, right? If some weird beam comes out, if all of a sudden someone's shooting a gun in your direction, you're not running, you're gonna stand there? No, you're gonna run because you're afraid of something. That's okay. But if you don't own that, give yourself some appreciation and go, look, it's okay to say you're afraid of something. You don't solve the problem. It's a lot of things I was afraid of. When I played football, I was afraid of going to the football field at times. I was afraid to hit and get hit, but I didn't go, I'm not afraid, and then go out there and look stupid. I go, I'm a little bit afraid. What do I gotta do to solve this problem? I gotta go harder? I gotta hit somebody so I don't get hit? Oh, okay. So you start managing it different because you have different perspectives from an understanding you tried to get. So you've got to pause, understand it's part of life. We experience it, get a new perspective, pursue a next action differently. Number 3 is think about past experiences where you were able to overcome fear. Because we've all had them in the past. Like there's pressure, there's fear going on. I got to think to a point in time where I had this happen and remind myself of the difficulty I faced in that moment and maybe the things that led up to it, so I feel comfortable approaching this new one to overcome it now. If you don't do this, what happens is everyone's new to you. Every single situation is new to you. And then it's like a new problem to solve, but it's really not. You felt this way. You've had something similar happen. What did you do before? In the past, did you handle it properly? If you didn't, what would you have done? In the past, did you handle it properly? Yeah. What did you do? That's all you got to do. Reprocess. That's why someone that says, I'm going to go up on a stage and speak, the first time you might bomb, right? You go back, what I learned, go do it again. You bomb a little bit less, and eventually you get good. Well, in that situation where you have fear going on stage, you're processing in real time. You know what? I can do this. I've been up there before. I've handled it before. I've bombed before. I've handled that before. I can do this. So now you approach things that might have scared you, and the fear diminishes over time because you're stepping in over and over again going, what did I do last time wrong or right? What's the lesson? What do I apply in real time? That simple mentality is a game changer for how we approach next stages. Number 4, set aside the negative thoughts and focus on what you can control. There's a lot that trickle into our head. I'm gonna be honest, like sometimes our brains throw stuff in there that doesn't belong. It just goes off in haywire. And so what we do is we worry about what might go wrong, what won't go there. We should focus on actions that we can take to achieve our goals. Because here's the truth, the situation at hand, the only thing that will solve it or fix it is an action. It's it, an action. But if you're fearful of taking an action and negative thoughts spin your mind, you either don't take actions or take the wrong actions. So you must get to a point of focusing on what you can control. If I can't control that situation, that thing, don't even worry about it. Don't even spend time thinking about it. I can control this, or I can control me, or I can control my response. Here's what I'm going to control. Let me go and move in that direction. And that simple adjustment of perspective and giving action changes things. There's a statement I love. It says, action ends suffering. If I'm suffering from fear, an action ends it. Multiple actions probably, not just a single one. And some of those actions might not work perfectly. Doesn't mean you stop taking actions. You take different actions and you progress to the next step and the next step and the next step beyond that. So focus on step 4 of setting aside these negative thoughts and focusing on what you can control. Number 5 is you got to get support from others. When I'm in fearful situations, talk to friends, talk to family, get a coach, get a mentor, something that is from a person who might have experienced it or has a new perspective to help you overcome the fear. You can't wander around by yourself. Having a supportive network makes a massive difference in your success long-term, especially when it comes to you managing fear under pressure. I had a coach when I played football. There's pressure in that game, man. A lot of it. Don't mess up. Here's your call. Block this when they do this. And I'm just going fast, 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 fast. The crowd's out there. It's moving around. It's a lot. And that's pressure filled. But if you have a coach to guide you, give you insight, hey, breathe, man. Take a breather. Think about this. Do this. You're doing this, right? You're doing this, yeah? Okay, then you know what to do in that situation, right? Yeah, I do. You're right. I've done it before. Okay, I got this, coach. Step back out there. right? Don't do this alone. Don't silo yourself to the space and go, nobody else can get around. It's gonna be just me. I'm self-made. I don't need anybody's help. No, you do need help. We all need help. I know I need help. I know it's one of the key parts of my life is having friends, family, loved ones that I can reach out to, colleagues. When I got something going on, I'm not 100% clear on. Because the way I look at it is being fearless under pressure is not about being immune to the fear. It's not about trying to act like I don't have any issues there. It's about instead being able to manage it and overcome it, to understand what's going on, to use your brain in the way that you can use your brain. And you can do that by practicing what I just laid out. See, it's that practice that we can actually apply to situations that allow us to be successful. You might ask yourself, Anthony, well, how do I practice this? Put yourself in situations that scare you. Put yourself in situations that create fear. If you're fearful of speaking, go to Toastmasters, man. Go out there, start talking. Sounds odd, but that's what you do. You purposely put yourself in situations that cause you fear. And then what happens is the more you're in there, the more you can go through these tips, you'll learn more. You diminish your fear over time. You get more information education, right? The more you have actions taken, you get more competent. The more competent you get, the more confident you get. The more confident you get, the less fear you have to take actions to get more competent, to have more confidence. It's a process. And so the more you can lean into stuff and find areas to take safe, fearful actions, the more the outcomes become amazing for your life. The more skills you have, the more opportunity you have, the more success you have, the more life you get to live. And that's the key part, living life. You don't live life and you don't express it, you don't push into new things, you miss out. And you know there's things you've already missed out on life right now. If you look back at them, you have a little bit of regret, a little bit of sadness in your heart for the thing you didn't do, didn't try, didn't step into. We all have that. You can have less of those in your future if you take more informational, purposeful, thoughtful steps of action into fear in the present. That's it. Apply these 5 steps. If you like this video, check this one out right here. It's a great one. That's it. As always, do the dark work and make shift happen.